Breaking overnight on Houston's south side, police are investigating a deadly shooting at an apartment complex. Houston police say an argument between two women turned violent, leaving one woman dead.
February 8, 2026. Wesley Square Apartments, 7402, Calhoun Road, Houston, Texas. Asia Monet Stewart, 26, pulls into the parking lot. She has just finished a 16-hour shift as a security guard.
Yes, I fuck with your nigga. Yes, I was with your nigga last week. Yes, I love your nigga. Yes, he nutted in me. Yes, I'm pregnant. Oh, nothing. On the way to grade school with my clown shoes and my red nose. You want to go to sleep and wake up and call people fat black bitches, your teacher? Watch this.
She has 4 children at home. She is here because her sister called. A fight is already in progress. Multiple women. Conflict 3 days old. Asia steps in. Dastia Wilmore, 25, moves toward her. The two engage physically. Wilmore draws a 9mm pistol and fires once. The bullet enters Asia's abdomen. Bystanders load Asia into a private vehicle and drive to Ben Taub Hospital. She is pronounced dead. Wilmore leaves the scene. As she drives away, she fires additional shots toward bystanders. No one else is hit. At the scene, officers recover 2 9mm shell casings, torn clothing and scattered hair weave. Multiple witnesses identify Wilmore by name and by photo. The case is assigned to HPD homicide detectives Rodriguez and Cater. 3 days later, on February 11th, Wilmore is arrested and booked into Harris County Jail. She is charged with murder in the 178th Criminal District Court. This is the complete story. Every action, every chilling detail. Welcome to Everyday True Crime. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a case. Stay with us for more gripping investigations and raw true crime stories delivered daily. Now let's dive in. Asia Stewart was 26 years old. She worked as a security guard. She had 4 children, ages 3, 6, 8, and 11. On the night she died, she had just finished a 16-hour shift. Those are the facts. They do not require decoration. A 26-year-old woman, working double-digit hours to support 4 children on her own, was shot once in the abdomen in a parking lot at 7402, Calhoun Road, Houston, Texas, and pronounced dead at Ben Taub Hospital. That is the beginning, middle, and end of what happened to Asia Monet Stewart. What those facts do not tell you is what they mean when stacked together. A 16-hour shift means Asia was on her feet, alert, and responsible for the safety of others for 16 consecutive hours before she drove to Wesley Square Apartments. Her job title, security guard, is not incidental. She was trained to de-escalate confrontations, to assess threat levels, to intervene. She did not go to that parking lot as a bystander. She went as someone who had spent the last 16 hours doing exactly what she was trained to do. Keep people safe. She had 4 children. The youngest was 3 years old. A child who is 3 years old in February 2026 will have no functional memory of their mother by the time they are old enough to form them. That is a fact with a long shelf life. The oldest child, at 11, is old enough to understand exactly what happened and to carry that understanding through every year of life that follows. Asia's father, Carlton Stewart, spoke publicly after her death. He described a woman he had consistently counseled toward patience. His words to her over the years: stop, think, then act. He said he believed those words were in her head when she pulled into that parking lot. He also said he believed she came anyway, not despite those words but alongside them. She assessed the situation, decided her sister needed her, and made a choice. That choice put her in front of a woman with a loaded 9mm pistol. Wesley Square Apartments sits at 7402, Calhoun Road in the Sunnyside neighborhood of Southeast Houston, approximately 8 miles south of downtown. It markets itself as affordable, family-friendly housing. It has a pool, a community center, and controlled access gates. It is also a location with a documented, repeated history of gun violence. In May 2023, a gunfight erupted in the same parking lot where Asia would later be shot. 2 groups opened fire on each other. A man and a juvenile as young as 13 were struck. Officers recovered nearly 20 shell casings from the scene. Multiple vehicles were hit. An electrical box was damaged, cutting power to residents. In December 2022, a woman was shot multiple times through a window inside the complex and killed by her ex-boyfriend while her 2 children were present. That man, Richard Hemphill, was charged with capital murder. 3 incidents of gun violence at a single apartment complex in 4 years. The parking lot where Asia Stewart was shot was not a random location. It was a location with a pattern. The broader neighborhood compounds that context. Sunnyside is one of the oldest African American communities in Houston, first established in 1912. By the 1970s and 1980s, it had built enough economic infrastructure that residents called it Black Wall Street or Baby River Oaks. That era is gone. The 1980s oil bust, the crack cocaine epidemic, rising incarceration rates, and population flight dismantled it over the following 2 decades. The night of February 8, 2026 was not the beginning of the conflict. It was the end of it. According to charging documents filed with the 178th Criminal District Court, a series of physical altercations between multiple women had been ongoing since at least February 5, 2026, 3 days before Asia was killed. Those earlier fights involved Asia's sister and women connected to Wesley Square apartments. They were unresolved. Each day they continued without consequence or conclusion was a day the situation moved closer to the moment it became lethal. Asia was not part of those 3 days. She had no involvement in the original dispute. She was not a participant in the February 5th altercation or any that followed before the night of her death. Her entry into the situation was not gradual. It was a single phone call. On the night of February 7th going into February 8th, Asia's sister was again at Wesley Square, again in the middle of the conflict. She contacted Asia. Asia was coming off a 16-hour shift. She drove to the complex. By the time Asia arrived, the parking lot was already active. Multiple women were present. Physical fights were already in progress. The evidence recovered later, torn clothing and hair weave on the ground, confirms that violence had already been underway. Asia did not arrive to a tense standoff. She arrived to an ongoing brawl. 12:45 a.m. Sunday, February 8, 2026. Asia arrived at Wesley Square and moved toward the situation. Witnesses and charging documents are consistent on what she was doing. She was trying to stop the fighting. That is what the evidence shows. It is also consistent with her training. A security guard's primary function in a conflict is to de-escalate, not to participate. She was attempting to do her job in a parking lot at 12:45 in the morning, after working since the previous afternoon. Dasja Wilmore, 25, was present in the parking lot that night. She was known to multiple people there. She was not a primary party to the dispute between Asia's sister and the other women involved. According to charging documents, when a fight broke out between 2 other women, Wilmore moved toward Asia and bucked at her. A direct, physical, threatening gesture intended to provoke confrontation. It worked. Asia swung at Wilmore. A physical fight began between the 2 of them. At some point in that fight, Wilmore reached into her clothing and drew a 9mm pistol. She fired once. The bullet struck Asia Stewart in the abdomen at close range. Asia went down. Wilmore did not stay. She moved to a vehicle and left the scene. As she drove away, at least one witness told investigators, she fired additional shots toward the people still in the parking lot. None of those shots connected. No additional victims were reported. Wilmore continued driving. The people remaining at the scene made the decision not to wait for an ambulance. They loaded Asia into a private vehicle and drove to Ben Taub Hospital, Houston's Level 1 trauma center. It is the correct facility for a gunshot wound. It was not enough. Asia Monet Stewart was pronounced dead at Ben Taub. The Harris County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed her identity. When HPD officers arrived at 7402 Calhoun Road, the victim was already gone. What remained was the scene. 2 fired 9mm cartridge casings, torn clothing, scattered hair weave, and witnesses. Case moved quickly. The reason was straightforward. Dasja Wilmore was not a stranger. She was known to multiple people in that parking lot by name and by face. Investigators did not begin with an unknown suspect. They began with a name and worked to confirm it through proper procedure. That procedure was a double-blind photo array. In a double-blind lineup, the officer administering the identification does not know which photo is the suspect. This is a safeguard against unconscious influence. If a witness picks a photo from a double-blind array, the identification carries more legal weight because the possibility of the officer guiding the witness toward a particular result is eliminated. Multiple witnesses went through this process. Multiple witnesses identified the same person, Dasja Wilmore. Investigators also obtained Wilmore's social media profiles. Witnesses identified her through those as well, providing a second, independent layer of corroboration. The combination, multiple witnesses, photo array, social media identification, built a case strong enough for the Harris County District Attorney's Office to proceed with a murder charge. Wilmore was charged with murder under Texas Penal Code Section 19.02 in the 178th Criminal District Court. At the time the charge was filed, she was not in custody. HPD released her previous booking photo publicly, confirming she had prior contact with the criminal justice system, and posted a public wanted notice. Fox 26, ABC 13, and Ketchu ran the story. The tip lines were listed: HPD homicide at 713-308-3600, Crime Stoppers at 713-222, tips. On the morning of Wednesday, February 11, 2026, 3 days after Asia Stewart was shot, Dasja Wilmore was arrested. She was booked into Harris County Jail, where she remains as of current reporting. Murder under Texas Penal Code Section 19.02 is defined as intentionally or knowingly causing the death of another person, or intending to cause serious bodily injury and taking an act clearly dangerous to human life that results in death. Discharging a firearm into a person's abdomen at close range satisfies both definitions without dispute. Texas murder is a first-degree felony. The sentencing range is 5 to 99 years, or life in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, plus a fine of up to $10,000. The outcome depends on what happens in the 178th Criminal District Court. A plea agreement or a trial. If the case goes to trial, the defense will likely explore a self-defense argument. The factual basis is that Asia swung at Wilmore before the shot was fired. Under Texas law, a person can use deadly force if they reasonably believe it is immediately necessary to protect themselves against another's use or attempted use of deadly force. The problem with that argument in this case is layered. First, Wilmore initiated the confrontation by bucking at Asia. Texas self-defense law excludes from protection a person who provoked the attack they are responding to. Second, a punch does not constitute deadly force under the law, and the response to a punch cannot automatically justify lethal force. Third, Wilmore's conduct after the shooting directly undermines any claim that she acted in fear or panic. She left the scene, and while leaving, she fired additional shots at bystanders who posed no threat to her. That behavior is not consistent with someone who fired once in a moment of genuine fear. Defense counsel may also challenge the witness identifications. Photo array procedures, even when double-blind, can be attacked on grounds of suggestiveness, witness memory reliability, or the conditions under which the identifications were made. A chaotic parking lot at 12:45 in the morning. Whether those challenges gain traction depends on what the evidence actually shows when examined under discovery. Prosecutors may also assess whether additional charges are warranted for the shots fired at bystanders while Wilmore fled. No injuries resulted, but discharging a firearm at people in a public space carries its own legal exposure under Texas law. Asia's father gave a statement after her death. He addressed the public, and he addressed Dasja Wilmore directly. His statement is quoted here because it is the most precise summary of what this case cost. He told Wilmore, "I'm not mad at you, I'm more hurt at you." He then said, "She used 1 second of her life and disrupted everybody's life, including hers because she has a child." He described preaching to Asia her entire life about conflict resolution. Stop, think, then act. He said he believed she was thinking about those words when she arrived at that parking lot. He said he believed she came anyway because of her sister. That is the factual summary of Carlton Stewart's public statement. He did not call for vengeance. He did not deny that the situation cost multiple families. He identified the precise unit of time responsible for all of it. 1 second. The second Dasja Wilmore drew a 9mm pistol during a fistfight and fired. Asia Monet Stewart, 26, security guard, mother of 4, was shot once in the abdomen in the parking lot of Wesley Square Apartments at approximately 12:45 a.m. on February 8, 2026. She was transported by private vehicle to Ben Taub Hospital and pronounced dead. The Harris County Medical Examiner confirmed her identity. Dasja Wilmore, 25, was charged with murder in the 178th Criminal District Court of Harris County, Texas, on or around February 11, 2026. She was arrested the same day and booked into Harris County Jail. She had prior contact with the criminal justice system. She is a mother. Her child will grow up under whatever legal outcome this case produces. The physical evidence: 2 9mm cartridge casings, torn clothing, hair weave. The witnesses: multiple, independent, confirmed through double-blind photo array and social media identification. The location: a parking lot that had already seen a group gunfight in 2023 and a capital murder in 2022. The neighborhood: one of the most statistically dangerous in the United States, with a documented history of disinvestment and structural neglect going back 4 decades. The motive for why Wilmore specifically targeted Asia Stewart is, as of current reporting, listed as unknown in official documents. What is known is the sequence: a 3-day conflict involving multiple women, a phone call to a sister who had just finished a 16-hour shift, a parking lot at 12:45 in the morning, a confrontation that began with a threatening gesture, fistfight, firearm, 1 shot, for children without a mother.
I'm not going to say it's a good morning because it's not a good morning. I'm heartbroken. My heart has been ripped from my chest. But the incident surrounding my daughter, Asia Stewart, and her dying. I hear a lot of stories. Most are not true. Most have been twisted. But again, those are stories. Stories are made to be twisted and fabricated to whatever the person that's telling it is telling it. That's how they're telling it. I get that. But my biggest question to everybody is, and this is something that stemmed from Asia's whole family. How do y'all expect kids to have conflict resolution when they grow up and see their parents not being able to have conflict resolution or problem solving or be in situations and know how to go about handling a situation properly? How do we expect for these kids to handle situations and know how to maneuver in certain rooms and certain things when most of y'all don't know how to do it? Answer that for me. If you're my friend and you're on this Facebook and you see this post, answer that for me. But at the same time, share this. This needs to be put out there because a lot of these kids are moving with no knowledge of nothing. They've seen their mamas scream at the top of their voice or yell at them. They've seen their daddy yell at the top of their voice. They've seen things that they should have seen and heard things that they shouldn't have heard. It wasn't taught things that they need to have been taught. So naturally they grab and they just do what they do without knowing the consequences, with not knowing how to problem solve or conflict resolution. Because this problem that took place, this instance that took place, could have easily been solved. We had adults out there in my age group that sit there and was going to watch kids fight. I see it so much on so many times on so many social media platforms where when a fight break out, adults, grown adults, run to the fight. They don't run to the fight to break it up. They don't run to the fight to say y'all wrong. They run to the fight to watch, the fight to record, the fight to record, and then hear everybody go crying when somebody die. We praise John with the gun. We praise such and such Whatever girl, I'm not going to call the girl that killed my baby name out. I'm going to give her family grace, even though she didn't give mine grace. We praised them, oh, they killed us. We didn't just lose Asia today. We lost this little girl too. Her mama lost a child. That little girl baby finna lose a mama. This shit run deep. We don't need the KKK no more. We killing ourselves. We killing ourselves, some motherfucker. We would be extinct pretty soon. Black people. And we wonder why we so low on the totem pole. Y'all think y'all really out here popping y'all shit with y'all designer this, designer that, and this and that, that and this. When in actuality as a whole, we are fucking poor. Mentally and fucking emotionally. How can we're not rearing up these children right. I stayed on mine. Asia went over there to Western Square, but you better know in the back of Asia's mind, my motherfucking voice was in her motherfucking ear, telling her to stop running over there to Western Square. But at the same time, I understand the love my child had for her sister took her over there. And I'm not mad at Brittany. I'm not mad at the girl that killed my baby. I'm not mad at the person that called my baby over there. I'm not mad. I'm hurt from every single soul that was in Wesley Square, that was in that circle. I'm mad. I'm hurt because this could have worked out a better way. And if you know me, you know I never stood on the side of motherfucking wrong. When Asia was wrong, she was wrong. When she was right, she was right. I didn't give a fuck. And to the people that was out there, i.e. her sister, her cousins, they know me. They know my heart. And they know what I stood for. And I definitely didn't stand for this because had I been out there, it wouldn't have been no fighting. I would have whipped Asia's ass. I would have broke Asia's motherfucking jaw. I would have broke Brittany's jaw. I would have broke Misha's jaw. Mine, I would have been kicking ass. I wish the fuck y'all would be out here fighting. Y'all better get the motherfucking this truck. And anybody know me know I'm not telling no lies. I would have kicked some ass out there. It wouldn't have been no motherfucking fighting. I'm that grown up that don't play that shit. But y'all ask yourself that. How can these kids be successful and be able to solve problems and not reach for a gun and not want to throw fists and beat on their fellow sister and brother when they've never been taught these things? They've never seen these things.
If this story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who need to hear it. For more chilling true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.